I'm with Lieutenant General Dipinder Singh Hooda, a former Northern Army commander of the Northern Command. I'm Jyoti Malhotra with the Tribune, and today we are talking about the absolutely horrifying attack on innocent people, on civilians in Pahelgam, in Jammu and Kashmir, in which 26 people have been killed. It's a very, very unfortunate day. These 26 include 2 foreign nationals. As many as 20 people have been injured, and the resistance front, said to be a proxy of the Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorist group in Pakistan, from Pakistan, is believed to have been beside this absolutely awful attack. General Hooda, first of all, welcome to the Tribune, and your first comments on this horrifying day.
So, Jyoti, I mean, the first comments are really, really, as you described, such a horrific attack. Innocent tourists, you know, just going there to sort of enjoy themselves from the rest of the country, have been targeted by terrorists. Uh, my own sense, Jyoti, is you know, a couple of messages are being conveyed. Yeah, one is, of course, Pakistan stepping up its activities, and we've seen that in the past uh, about a year and a half. When we saw attacks initially in the Jammu region, we saw increase in infiltration, and thereafter we are seeing targeting of Hindu civilians, uh, trying to sort of convey a message that the government saying, the Indian government saying that everything is fine, peace is returning, also framing tourist arrivals as an indicator of normalcy. Uh, I think they're trying to convey the sense that, look, the government narrative is not sort of right. I also see it as a bit of an act of desperation, Jyoti. If you're not able to target security forces, these are vulnerable, easy targets to do.
Right.
And really, the kind of shock that they send across the country, uh, the impact that they're going to have on tourist arrivals, on livelihoods of people, is going to be sort of enormous.
This is clearly, General, the work or the mischief of the Pakistani military establishment, sending terrorists across the border, across the line of control. And this is perhaps the worst attack since the Pulwama attacks in 2019. Now, why do you think that the Pakistani military establishment, which is so powerful and so influential and runs the country in Pakistan, the elected government is a real cipher in many ways. Why do you think they're doing what they're doing?
So one, Jyoti, there is enormous pressure on the Pakistan military for the problems that they're facing. Uh, we are seeing attacks in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. We are seeing attacks in Balochistan. Uh, it's a way to sort of divert attention and say, look, we are still sort of relevant. I think also, if you look at the narrative that has been coming out, the messages that have been coming out from Pakistan establishment, that what's happening internally is because of external powers. In some cases, they've named India directly, in some cases, indirectly. And so an attempt to show that, we can hit back, we can react to what happens to us internally. Also, you saw Asif Munir's recent statements about Kashmir being jugular way, and
terrible.
about Hindu Muslims, and that we are completely different. Yeah. I mean, it was an absolute sort of Islamic rant about, what. And it was surprising to see an army chief going like this and talking.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could excuse politicians for making these statements. But I think so Pakistan army is under so much pressure that in some ways they're trying to say, look, we are still the ideological custodians of Pakistan. And if something happens to us, and here is India, which is like the eternal enemy, it's something that they've followed for many, many years.
Absolutely, General. Like you're saying, the Pakistani army chief, Asim Munir, I mean, the absolutely ridiculous statements, I mean, horrifying at one level, that talking about this two-nation theory, I mean, he's sort of resurrecting Jinnah. He believes he's sort of some latter-day Jinnah. But I want to ask you, you have served in Kashmir. You were the Northern Army commander in 2016 when the surgical strikes took place. You participated in those strikes. This attack in Pahelgam, which is on the route to the Amarnath Yatra, although the Yatra is about 6 weeks away, what do you think? Why is Pahelgam being picked for this attack?
So, Jyoti, I wouldn't like to directly link it to Amarnath Yatra because when the Amarnath Yatra starts, and I'm aware, massive security presence sort of takes place.
Yeah.
I think they've picked it for the location. It's very far away from the roadhead. Lots and lots of tourists go there in small different pockets, carrying out trekking through this valley.
Is it a very beautiful part of the
They
country?
probably found it. It is amazingly beautiful, Jyoti, and that is why you see this as one of the tourist hotspots in Kashmir.
Mm-hmm.
And because there are a very large number of small places where trekking happens, people sit down. I think the terrorists just found it as a sort of a vulnerable target. Questions are often asked, why is there no security presence there, and why is it? But many people have questioned that an overwhelming presence of security forces actually serves as a deterrence to tourism.
Mm.
So those issues are also there. So honestly, well-selected target, recceed. I'm sure the terrorists would have recceed it, seen the vulnerability, and then carried out this attack.
So 2 questions to you, General. The first is that we hear from reports that the terrorists, about 5 or 6 in number, were asking these innocent tourists, these civilians, they were asking them their religion and saying that you have to recite the kalma, which is the Islamic prayer, and basically trying to distinguish between Hindus and Muslims. Now, this kind of open attempt at dividing the country, dividing the people of Jammu and Kashmir, both Hindus and Muslims and Sikhs, why would these Pakistani terrorists, why would they do this?
So, Jyoti, it's often said terrorism is a theater. So you're actually targeting not the people that you kill, but the larger population. And I dare say the way social media is today, these kind of narratives are going to incite people in the country. They're going to try and create sort of like a Hindu-Muslim divide. I don't know if it's already started, but you will see it in social media. I mean, that's the intent of these terrorists. Can we make divides in the country? Can we create differences between people? Because you will see when stories like this come out that there will be anger amongst people. There will be talk about how Muslims are all sort of radical Islamists. That's what their intent is. I just hope, honestly, Jyoti, for people who are seeing this, that we really don't fall prey to what the terrorist strategy is, and that it doesn't really lead to a sort of a Hindu-Muslim divide being exaggerated in the country.
Now, you referred to the Pakistani Army Chief General Asim Munir's remarks in which he said, amongst them, he said that Kashmir is a jugular vein of Pakistan. Now, this is a sentence that, we've been hearing since Kingdom Come, right, for the last several decades. Now, even if he was trying to distract from the internal turmoil within Pakistan, the question is, if you're going to sponsor or motivate this kind of an awful attack, I mean, it brings back the Mumbai attacks. Now, if you're going to do something like this, that there are Muslims in Jammu and Kashmir. So isn't that counterproductive to you? Even if you think that Kashmir is a jugular vein and you're going to take it away, which is never going to happen, of course. But why would you do something like this?
So, Jyoti, the clear aim is to show internationally that Kashmir still remains a dispute. The more violence there is in Kashmir, they think it strengthens their argument that look, what the government of India is saying, that everything is normalized, everything is fine, is actually fake. And the people of Kashmir really want a change, which is why they have created organizations like the TRF. I mean, they're not calling it Lashkar-e-Toiba anymore.
Right.
They are trying to show that these are indigenous organizations, that they are only local Kashmiris in that organization, and that this is a trouble state. Really, they are not interested in how many people are getting killed, whether livelihoods get affected.
Yeah.
All they want is that Kashmir should be disturbed, there should be violence. So for them, sort of this strategy makes sense.
Yeah. Now, Prime Minister Modi is in Saudi Arabia even as we speak. Home Minister Amit Shah has landed in Srinagar. The Chief Minister Omar Abdullah is there, and they're doing this sort of strategy meeting. But so is the US Vice President J.D. Vance in India. Now, do you think, General, that this sort of do you think that the timing is what it is, which is that you've had this very high-profile American leader who happens to be in India at this time? Do you think there's something to that?
Absolutely, Jyoti. The fact that the Prime Minister in Saudi Arabia, J.D. Vance, is here. Surely this sends out signals, out signals internationally.
Like what kind
that
of
look, Kashmir still remains a problem. Kashmir is not a completely sort of settled issue, which the Indian government is saying everything is fine. There is no problem except that we have to retake Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So you have such a major terrorist attack, which I'm told also includes some fatalities among foreign citizens.
Yeah, two people are supposed to have been.
Surely conveying a message. But if you actually see, it's also happened in the past. So if you recall that Shivkhori tourist attack, which took place and where Hindu pilgrims were killed, happened on the day that Modi inauguration was to take place. So certain activities are timed to try and convey some specific kind of messages. So I have no doubt that it's timed with US Vice President visit and Prime Minister Modi's visit to Saudi Arabia.
Now, last year when the attacks in the Kathua region and the Jammu region were taking place, General, and I interviewed you about 10 months or so ago, and at the time you said that it was about 15 years or so after the attacks in Jammu, in the Jammu region, were taking place. Now, why is the arc of terror moving back into the Kashmir Valley, away from the Jammu region and back to Kashmir?
Look, so last year when it happened was because I think Pakistan found some vulnerabilities in the Jammu region. We had moved out some troops from Jammu region to Ladakh.
Yeah.
To deal with the Chinese problem. So there were gaps in the security architecture and those were exploited. But Jyoti, for Pakistan, the ultimate sort of center of gravity is the Muslim dominated Kashmir. And so it's not something that they're going to sort of leave. If you actually see when Omar Abdullah won the elections, that was the time when you found, over a spate of about 20 days, a series of attacks in Kashmir. So for Pakistan and Pakistan military, the center of gravity still remains Kashmir.
And where do we go from here, General? And that's my last question to you. Last time in Pulwama in February of 2019, when 40-odd CRPF soldiers were killed, the Prime Minister and his government, the Modi government, unleashed missiles that went deep into Pakistan. What now?
So I think, look, Jyoti, the reality is the manner in which the incident had happened,
Mm.
the way the Hindu tourists have been singled out and killed is going to put enormous pressure on the government to do something. So, what are the options available to the government? Unfortunately, diplomacy is dead, doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There is no economic pressure that you can put. We always look at America is going to put some pressure on Pakistan. I think it hasn't succeeded too well in the past. China is very strongly in the Pakistani camp. So, what are we left with? We are only left with some hard kinetic military options. Now, how they will be exercised, will they be exercised or not, is something for the government to decide. But unfortunately, the way relationships have gone with Pakistan, you're only left with use of military force against each other. So, as I said, I don't know whether it will be used or not, but
Right.
the options are limited as far as the Indian government is concerned.
General Hooda, thank you so much for your time, for speaking to me at the Tribune. Thank you. I really appreciate you taking out your time on this, on a day like this. Thank you again.